Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me to discuss the rise of fractional shares and growth in retail trading is Brian Barnes, founder of M1 Finance. Brian, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And refresh the audience. Give us your story. How did you come to launch M1?
So the more pertinent background is just personally, I was shown a brokerage account at a pretty young age, sort of 9, 10 years old, and really just massively captivated by the notion of investing. And so sort of did that under the purview of my parents, middle school, high school, into college. Worked at a hedge fund doing equity research and management consulting fund prior to starting M1. And M1 is really the manifestation of the personal finance account that I wish existed in the marketplace, but didn't. And so, gathered a team and we built it.
What does your typical customer look like? Are they older, wealthier, like those at Schwab, or younger and still learning, like at Robinhood, for example?
I think we probably bridge the gap between those two. I don't want to necessarily say extremes, but the Schwab demographic was really the Robinhood customer, but developed in the 80s and 90s, and they've since aged into the cohort that they are now. And the Robinhood customer is really that new entrant. M1 is sort of that middle ground layer where it's mass affluent people who have built up investable assets, have a perspective on what they want to own, and are really building their wealth for substantive things, buying a house, their kids' education, their retirement. And so it's, not trading for the first time, it's long-term systematic investing and wealth building.
So what makes them come to M1?
So M1 is a comprehensive platform. We offer 3 main products: M1 Invest, M1 Borrow, and M1 Spend. M1 Invest is free automated investing in a custom portfolio. M1 Borrow is a line of credit based on your invest portfolio that you can borrow up to 1/3 of your portfolio's value at rates as low as 2%. And M1 Spend is a high yield integrated checking account and a cashback debit card. And so it's really a comprehensive personal finance suite. You can, replace your checking account, sweep money into a custom portfolio, borrow at the lowest rate on the market. And so it's every one of our products is better than a point solution out there, and the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
How does M1 compare with other fintechs and legacy players like Wealthfront, Betterment, Robinhood, as we discussed, Schwab, E-Trade?
Yeah, so I think there's probably 2 big categories in there. One is the robo-advisor category. The robo-advisor sort of asks 3 questions, gives you a portfolio of 6 to 10 ETFs, and then automates it. M1 has taken the automation of the robo-advisor, but said you can design any portfolio you want. So you can pick individual stocks, individual ETFs, design the portfolio you want, customize it to your heart's content, and then automate it. And we're also free, so we're cheaper than them. And then versus the brokerages out there, whether that's your incumbents of Schwab, Fidelity, Ameritrade, E-Trade, or Robinhood's on the new entrants, all of those are built around the trade and trading. And so they sort of encourage short-term behavior. M1 is more about long-term portfolio management and portfolio automation. So we've built a thing that is systematically for investing rather than short-term trading.
Well, Brian, since I've been covering you, you guys have grown really fast. What are some metrics you can share with us? And why do you think there's been remarkable growth with retail trading overall?
So in terms of the growth that we can share, so we started 2020 with about $800 million on the platform. We crossed $1 billion in February. We crossed $2 billion in September. So just 6 months later, another $1 billion, and had doubled the platform. And now we're up to the sort of, around 2.5 range. So continuing to grow in sort of an exponential fashion. Really, everybody needs to put their money somewhere, and there's tons of money in investments. There's tons of money in bank accounts. With bank accounts yielding very little, people need to look to, invest it, put it to work, have it systematically work for them over long periods of time and for their entire lifetime. So, people who are 30, 40 have 20, 30 years of compounding in front of them. And so, it's really about, as they acquire wealth, as they start, saving wealth for the first time, they need a place to put that. And next generation platforms like M1 are better places than some of the incumbents have offered historically.
And why do you think we've seen such growth in retail trading overall?
I think, it's a combination of 2 things. The stock market volatility just becomes top of mind as there's big fluctations. And so, as people are hearing more and more about it, they're just interested. They go look at different options. They see the innovation that's taken place in the space. I think the post-COVID, sort of the February, March timeframe, the market did drop 35%. And when you have a long enough time horizon, that is an incredible buying opportunity. Very rarely do you have the ability to put money at a discount of 2/3 of what you would have paid 2 months ago. And then I do think there's been a ton of innovation in the space, which has really brought down the need to invest large sums of money, overcome like fixed trading costs and the like. And so you can systematically deploy smaller dollar sums on a more consistent basis, which just increases the pool of people that investing appeals to.
And this is a perfect segue for us to wrap up here, because I want to talk about innovation at M1 specifically. You pioneered fractional share investing and were among the first to offer free investing on a platform. So your latest innovation is smart transfers. Can you explain what that is and how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So the sort of goal for the M1 account is for any dollar that comes into the platform, have it be automatically and intelligently directed towards where it could be best used in your personal finance life. And so a user can personalize their financial plan, but then they can automate and optimize it so that they don't have to keep remaking the same decision. And so Smart Transfers is the tool that we just released that allows a person to sort of set parameters on where money should go. So they can set rules that I first want to pay off high cost debt. Then I want to invest in a tax-free IRA because it's a tax advantage account, and that's where I want my money to grow for the foreseeable future. When I max that out, I want that to spill over into my taxable account. And so all of this happens with software in the background, and it's something that historically you would need a team of 3 sort of working on your finances day in and day out to optimize the money flow. But this just happens in the background of your life, so it's personalized yet automated to your heart's content.
All right, Brian, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.